All right, I'm back with our Transits Fridays. So another week that I had to take a break. And honestly, it's the 2nd of August today, and it has been a very tough July. I don't know how you guys have experienced. Let me know in the comments, actually. I would love to hear how July was for you. But July has been quite challenging. As I've mentioned before, some family health issues, the last full moon that caught my mom and my brother's astrology chart as well, which obviously then caught me and other family members charts as well, potentially as a kind of a side effect, let's say. So I had taken another break last week, and as I've mentioned before as well, there's so much work that's been done. And I finished a big chunk of work that lasted me, or that took me 7 months and a half. So 7 months and a half to do something that was quite long. And oh gosh, I just really needed a few days kind of break. And I obviously didn't take a lot of days. When you work for yourself, that's the reality, right? You can't really take a holiday and completely forget about your work unless you're on that stage already, which I feel I'm not there quite yet to just take a holiday. I think I'm just pushing forward at this stage and getting a lot of accomplished, but also getting very exhausted on the way. And then comes a lot of other questions, having a highly sensitive trait. Um, and that sort of neurodivergent brain as well, and how we work differently. And like being a hustler does not suit me at all. Like, I love to work for myself. I absolutely love it. I do not miss having a job or anything like that, working for someone else. But I really haven't got the structure to work nonstop and just be completely like stimulated constantly, answering people's messages, and this sort of like hyper connectivity that we have now, which I think is part of being an entrepreneur. And having an online business is great, gives you a lot of freedom. You can travel around, but also you can never take some time off unless you're very, very disciplined. So there's some interesting things I've been reading about this as well. And obviously I'm digressing a lot. Because this video is all about the new moon as well. But as a kind of a ending of a lunar cycle, which is exactly where we're at right now, I think is a wonderful time for reflection, for thinking, and um integrating as well the things that we've done in the last lunar cycle as well. So that's part of the process I'm going through, really. And honestly, a lot of what I'm going through recently, including what I've been through in July as well, like, is just reaffirming my desire to be authentic and to work, you know, in a way that's really authentic, and to walk my talk. If I'm working with well-being and I'm doing readings and looking into people's charts with a constructive perspective, then that perspective needs to be applied into my life as well. It's not just for clients and other people. So a lot of that authenticity has been part of my reflection lately. How much of my real self, is coming across in what I do, and that this is a really, really important thing for me. Anyhow, I'm really digressing here, but not as well, because authenticity is one of the keywords for Leo, and what the Leo sort of life quality is about as well. And we have a new moon Leo happening this Sunday. So today's Friday, 2nd of August. So Saturday the 3rd, Sunday the 4th. So we have this new moon in Leo on Sunday. And then Mercury is gonna go retrograde right after as well. And that's honestly, um, that's a Mercury in Virgo going retrograde and traveling most through the sign of Leo again backwards. So I really think that issues of authenticity will be here for all of us to deal with. And it's just manifesting in a specific way in my life because I'm an individual with a specific chart, blah, 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 specific transits right now. But in general, I think we're all gonna deal with these questions and these idea around being authentic and being able to be ourselves and giving, license to other people to be themselves as well, and how generous can you be and give space to other people to be themselves as well when you're actually not being yourself. That how much resentment is there when we're not really being who we are. And I think that's a big one. So anyways, let's have a look at the chart. I'm going to share my screen. So the thing is, I'm back and I want to come back more now that I've finished my other project, now that I've finished that 7.5 month work. I'm going to be doing more videos here. I really want to do an extra video about the Jupiter Saturn square that's coming as well this month of August, because that's an important one that's been really calling my attention. And I really have strong feelings and a strong inspiration to talk about this astrological transit as well. So I'm going to do an extra video this week to talk about that, but I won't do it today. So I want to do more videos. So let's see how I get on with that. So this is the chart for now. This is what's happening right now. So we've got the moon in Cancer. I'm also like on day 2 of my cycle, so I've got a real kind of foggy brain, but very intuitive as well right now, like a little bit like a high priestess energy. And I think that matches that moon in Cancer, I suppose, trying to Saturn as well, and the trine has happened already, but that energy is still in the air to all of us. Anyhow, what I really want to look into is the new moon. So Saturday, tomorrow, the moon will enter Leo already, and on Sunday, Sunday Brazil, so it might be Saturday for you guys in the USA, depending where you are. But definitely Brazil, Europe as well. It will be already on Sunday. So that new moon is going to be happening at 12 degrees Leo. So 12 degrees Leo, with a Venus at 29 degrees Leo as well, still in square to Uranus. So we've got Venus is square Uranus. Talking about awakening a sense of self-worth and authenticity as well. Again, I think that's the key word here with Leo. At least the keywords that I like to think about when I think about Leo. So that Venus in Leo is authenticity in relationships and breaking free from codependency. I always think about that when we have Venus and Uranus, and Venus is square Uranus in particular, or conjunctions as well, and oppositions. There is a challenge there in losing our individuality, in compromising too much who we are, how we want to be, and etc. And obviously, planets at 29 or 0 degrees feature very strongly in whichever chart that we have. So this Venus is there very powerfully imprinting its energy for this new moon cycle, for this new lunar cycle. So we're going to have a presence of that Venus very strong. And a lot of our questions around loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, being authentic with who we are, self-expression, creativity as well, romance, our search for romance, or search for novelty in life as well, our search for joy. I think, that's another one. Joy comes from playfulness as well. And honestly, all of these topics I'm talking about in connection to the Venus in Leo is also in connection to the new moon itself, because obviously the new moon is also in Leo there. So it's a new beginning, whatever it is in your chart, whatever 12 degrees Leo is there, is a new beginning connected to that area of your life. Is it in the 11th house? Is it in the 3rd house? Is it in the 7th? Finding where this falls in your chart will definitely bring more clues. And for me is an area that you're going to be able to bring a little bit more authenticity if you wish, and you're going to be able to bring more joy as well, more playfulness as well, and all that sort of, all that jazz. Really, I think that's something that's been going through my mind a lot as well recently. I've been I've been reading this book, Homecoming by John Bradshaw, on the inner child. And that's a topic that's very Leo 9 as well. Leo has a resonance with the fifth house, which is the house of children, of the inner child as well. And Leo has a connection to playfulness, children, child, as well as a life quality. And therefore, the sun, who is the ruler of Leo, will also resonate with this flavor of the inner child. And those are some of the clues on how we can get in touch with our inner child as well, and getting in touch with the wonder child, they call, or the divine child as well, which has got a lot to do with our sense of inspiration in life, our playfulness, our spontaneity, and all of these things, which I think gets a bit lost when, in words of John Bradshaw, our adult life gets contaminated by the wounded child. So we usually throw temper tantrums, and we get triggered very quickly as well. Obviously there are other things that will be triggering us, but he is sharing some very important information in this book, which I'm finding really, really interesting at this moment, and with all the things that I'm going through as well, in terms of work, in terms of family as well. And it is really making sense and calling my attention. I think potentially I have been a little bit of a lost child, someone that was quite compliant and helpful. And I think this is something that we might have as highly sensitives as well. Like, the desire to help other people is so strong that we tend to manifest that as children as well. So, again, I digress. But anyhow, let me know if you resonate with any of this. If there's something that you've been thinking about as well, and how is that for you? Because again, this new moon is a wonderful time to set intention to reclaim that inner child, to reclaim that sense of creativity, that playfulness, that joy in your life. And that can be done through your inner child, through inner child work in general. So this new moon is also in sextile to Mars and sextile to Jupiter. In fact, is an exact sextile to the midpoint between Mars and Jupiter, in Gemini. So again, an energy that feels a little bit extroverted, except Mercury is going to be going retrograde on the day after. So there's still a sense of reclaiming something, going back, going over something. So this whole lunar cycle will be about looking back as well. And interestingly, when I was doing the voice notes I do for the Witches of Instagram every month about the lunations, the Sabian symbol for 12 degrees Leo is connected to this idea of looking back and reassessing our lives as well. On the rocking chair on the porch, and sort of thinking about what's happened, where we're at, where do we want to go, and things like that. And I think that really, really matches the energy of that Mercury going retrograde shortly after. The Jupiter Mars here is like the desire to take actions, or to take big actions, or to take actions that will be connected to learning, to exploring information, and things like that. Again, Mercury going retrograde shortly after is really telling us that maybe hold our horses. Don't just step into, taking those actions, but contemplate the potentials, contemplate the ideas as well. So as you can see, I've got my tarot deck on me. I just want to pick 3 cards for this new moon as well, and see what comes up. What are the potentials for this new moon Leo here in sextile to Jupiter? So potential for expansion and all of that from the astrological perspective. But let's have a look at the tarot imagery for this new moon Leo as well. So I'm going to pick 3 cards. What are the potentials for this new moon at 12 degrees Leo? Putting my deck back together. And 3 cards. All right. So interesting configuration here. Again, I really feel like there is that sense of looking back in order to decide what direction we're going to be taking. We've got the 2 of Wands as the first card that came up. The 2 of Wands is really Mars in Aries, and it does represent that sense of making decisions or contemplating our options as well, and the desire to conquer, to do something. But I love that, the way that the cards came up does show these two different directions going on. The um we've got the two of wands looking this way, and we've got the six of swords looking to the other way. As if we sort of need to reassess and look at our goals from the past in order to know how to navigate our future there as well. Again, I'm really having this feeling with these cards. And the six of swords is Mercury in Aquarius. In fact, the star is also Aquarius, and it's perhaps bringing the counter position here with a new moon in Leo, and saying, yes, whatever work we do here, not to lose sight of what we actually want to share with the community as well. It's like, it's not just for the cheerfulness, the joyfulness, and the selfishness of feeling better. But if you do feel better, if you do step into your authenticity, you can contribute in a more authentic way to the community as well, to the hopes of the group, to something that everybody will benefit as well. There's something about the group and the community here. But yeah, I do have a feeling of contemplation from these cards as well. So contemplating the past choices and decisions that we've made and the adventures that we've been through, and looking ahead as well and thinking, where do we want that to lead us? And especially in relation to the community and what we want to be offering to other people as well, to the group, to, to our community, to our peers as well, the sort of ideals that we can share with others. So interesting. Now, this is the Monday, 5th of August. Obviously, we've got Venus moving to Virgo, and our sort of our love relationship shifting again flavors a little bit, and we're sort of stepping slowly towards Virgo season, very slowly. We're still very much entrenched in the Leo season, but it's the kind of beginning pushing us towards that direction. I think Venus in Virgo there will be a shift from partying and looking into the having fun side of things and the playfulness of Leo and all of that, but also considering health and considering our day-to-day activities, our day-to-day routines as well, and rituals, actually more than routines, daily rituals. I think that's a very Virgo flavor as well. And that's when Mercury goes retrograde too. So Mercury going retrograde, I mean, we'll start with that Mercury in Virgo, and obviously Mercury will pop back to Leo in in a week, or a bit longer than a week. Probably even less than a week, to be honest. There you go. That's gonna be 15th of August. So on the 15th, we're gonna have that Mercury popping back to Leo, and it's going to be traveling backwards mostly through Leo rather than Virgo. So we're going to start thinking about, logic, our daily routines, our work, our service, how can we improve things there, etc., the functioning of our bodies and all of that. And then we'll go back to Leo. We'll go back to the topic of this new moon, the inner child, the authenticity, all these things. How can I be more of myself in the world, and obviously not lose track of the community at the same time? Like, how can I find a sense of belonging there, by being myself, by shining my light, So those will be very, very important movements of this week. So Mercury going retrograde, again, wonderful time to reassess, to rethink, to reread your journals, to look into what you've been doing so far, to try and improve some of these things. I think, is a big part of this flavor. Tuesday, the moon, we're going to join as well that Virgo sort of flavor, and we might feel a little bit more of an urge there to do all the Virgoan things. that will be coming more towards the end of August as well. But honestly, I think these are the key things about this week's astrology that I really wanted to share with you. You just keep an eye here. Look, Jupiter is coming to square that Saturn, and I think that's a big deal. And it will be very much prominent in the full moon this month. So the combination of this new moon in Leo with the full moon in Aquarius, we're gonna have an exact square already between Jupiter and Saturn. But I'm gonna make a video about that, and I'm gonna explore that on its own as well. So that's it, my friends. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know how you are all feeling. What's going on for you? How is this week being? How was July for you? Was it easier? Was it harder? Did you manage to channel that energy in a constructive way? And are you looking forward to this new moon in Leo? And what are you gonna be setting intentions for as well, if you want to share it, and where is Leo in your chart? That new moon is very, very close to my midheaven, and I am gonna be setting some intentions in terms of trusting my gut a little bit more when it comes to my reputation, my work, and how I come out into the world, and bringing even more authenticity into that, and trusting it. So this is my plan. Um, that's it. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend already, and that you have a beautiful, beautiful new moon and new lunar cycle. And I'll see you next week. Bye bye. Take care.